My name is Yulene Williams, and I'm a vanguard leader of Community Voices Heard in New York City. I'm very excited to be with you all here today. I am a mother of 5 children who are all now grown. This is not in the script, but Tuesday, my granddaughter gave birth to my great-grandchild. For the last 38 years, I've been on and off public assistance. Right now, this means I receive $75 every 2 weeks in cash. In order to receive anything, I am forced to do workfare, which in New York is called the WEP, or Work Experience Program. Workfare is all across the country. It came out of the welfare reform laws in 1996. Workfare requires people to do work such as cleaning the parks, cleaning the subways, sorting files in offices in order to receive their benefits, which again, as I explained, $75 every 2 weeks for a single person, which means getting paid roughly $1 an hour. This does nothing to help you get off public assistance or to be able to obtain work at a living wage in the future. If you or your child are sick, if you can't get a note from a doctor, you get sanctions, which means your benefits are either reduced or cut off. There are no sick days, no vacation days. People are treated horribly by a supervisor. There's no one you can go to because there's no grievance process. You do the same job as someone next to you, but you don't get a paycheck. You don't get health benefits. You don't get personal days, sick days, vacation days. I cannot put workfare down on a resume because what do I write? Web worker, you're not an employee. It says on your name tag, non-employee, which is very demeaning. If this is supposed to give you experience, it should be in doing something that would help you get a better job. That's right. My last web assignment was to sort files in the Board of Education, which is pretty good for a web assignment. But even though I sort more files than any other worker, I did not get hired. How will this help me get a job? If you have an interview, you have to ask the place you were interviewing to give you a letter to prove why you were not at your web assignment. How likely is someone would hire you if you have to tell them you are on public assistance? People and potential employers look down on people on public assistance. I have worked as a home health aide, but has not been steady, and I have been treated badly there too. When I got on public assistance, I thought I could get training to be able to get a better paying job. But even though the city public assistance agencies claims they do this, more often than not, they don't. I have been through multiple trainings, but still no job. Workfare or WEP is required of anyone considered employable in HRA, whether you have a barrier to employment or not. Over 1,400 people in New York City are doing WEP in 2010. Across the country, other welfare systems have used New York City as a model and also force people to do WEP. We believe we have a lot in common with other excluded workers and want to join with other workers who are being unfairly treated and demeaning and demand justice.
Hi, my name is Tom Smith. I'm a member of United Campus Workers, Communications Workers of America. We're organizing at public higher education institutions, colleges, and universities all across Tennessee. In Tennessee, public workers, like other excluded workers, have no bargaining rights. We don't have the ability to sit down with our employer and negotiate over wages, working conditions, even the most basic treatment. But like everybody here, we know that when someone stops you from having a basic right, you don't wait for them to give it to you. You organize power to meet power and you take it. And that's what we've been doing in Tennessee. And in Tennessee, we know about this, right? We have a rich history. We have the Memphis sanitation workers strike that show public workers all across the state that you can fight and you can win. A lot of people think of colleges as these great places, right? Glenn Beck tells us it's part of the great leftist conspiracy. But for those of us who work there and go to school there, et cetera, we know that's not the case, right? We know that a lot of the same bosses that prevent us from exercising our rights were the same bosses that prevented integration in our schools. When we started back in 2000, there were some of the same people. They've been there for 40 years. They fought integration, and they were fighting us. We know that these bosses still do it. Some of the same people in the legislature that prevent us from having basic rights, basic stuff like dues checkoff, are the same people who are passing resolutions praising Arizona and trying to introduce 1070-like laws here in Tennessee. So we see that, right? To our east in North Carolina, the laws that actively forbid collective bargaining were passed by Jim Crow legislatures. And these bosses still do it. They tell us that don't join that union, it's for white workers. Don't join that union, it's for black workers. There aren't any Latino workers in that union, don't join it. Right? But again, we know it's up to us. So UCW, we've been organizing for 10 years. In 2003, we had 24 members, 23 people on one campus. We now have 1,100 members across the state on 9 campuses. And we're going to keep organizing and we're going to keep fighting until we win those living wages, until we win justice and power at our jobs and in our communities. In Memphis, where I live now, folks have a saying, right? The closed mouth is never going to get fed. Never. So it's up to us to make some noise.